Now we are going to introduce you other different tools that we are developing in the observatory, in the ENETWILD project. Sergio, my colleague, is going to give you some tips about this application that we are going to release in the next weeks or in the next month. And mainly is focused to visualize some of the information that has been collected from the ENETWILD project, mainly this information related to hunting back data. So, okay, Sergio, are you there?
Okay, so good morning. My name is Sergio. I also work at IREC, and today I'm here to show you in about 10 to 15 minutes the first versions or pilots of two shiny apps that we are working on in the context of the ENETWILD project. Firstly, I've made a few slides to give you some context and scope of the ENETWILD project, so you can understand the necessities and how these tools can help us to collect and integrate the data. So starting with the ENETWILD objective, the idea is to collect and integrate wildlife information all around Europe. And as Jota said, we have been working with different types of datasets, but we have been focusing more into hunting backs data. And also, we have been increasing the number of species we work with to almost 20. And the way we have done this is basically following this data flow. The data provider, send raw data into the different data partners of the project. They harmonize the data using the wildlife data model, and this harmonized data set is sent to us together with a shapefile that has the geometries of the data set, and we validate and integrate the data. But this validation and integration process sometimes takes too long. So we came up with the idea of developing a tool to help us with this task. And that's where the integrated validation tool came up. So I think that I can show you if I click. Okay. So this is the current state of this validation tool. As I said, it's used to validate the harmonized data that the data provider sent to us. So as you see, it's a really simple web app that is developed using Shiny, a framework from R. The application is composed basically of two modules. The first module is the one you see here with information about the project, and also you have the possibility to download the wildlife data model that the data partners should fill. As you see, this is the last version of the data model. The data model is composed of different pages. We have the metadata page and the data page. Here we have the vocabulary list for data and metadata. And this is the data set that the apps validates. So I have prepared a few test data sets so you can see how it works. So the first thing that we must do is to fill all the information of this panel, because if we click to submit, it will pop up with an error saying that you need to upload, to fill the necessary information. So I'm going to do it now. Yeah. Okay. This is information that correspond to the guy that is validating the data. In this case, my information. And then we are going to upload the harmonized data set. In this case, I'm going to upload the good one, the one that is going to pass all the tests that the application does. This case, as you can see, is an example data from Estonia from Fox. We upload the dataset. And then, as I said, we have sometimes spatial information outside the dataset in the form of a shapefile or GeoPackage, but mostly is in shapefile form. So we upload also the shapefile, all the files that are necessary to open a shapefile. And then one is to upload it. It gives you the possibility to select the column that it's going to merge with the dataset. In this case, it's this one. Also, you have to select the geometry column, which is always geometry or geom, that is always the last one. And in this case, we are not going to upload a data agreement, but if you has the data agreement corresponding to this dataset, you can upload. So in this case, we have doesn't have it. And then once it's all filled, you can click into submit. And it will drives you through some pop-ups. In this case, is as you can see, a submission report with all the information that you have filled: your name, last name, your mail, institution, the data model version that you have used, the date, the name of the dataset, the names of the different spatial files, and in this case, you have not uploaded a data agreement, and the output type name that this app will produce in case everything is filled properly inside the dataset. So firstly, we are going to validate the metadata tab that you saw on the Excel, this one. Okay. In this case, everything seems to be fine. It gives you a resume of the things that you have filled into the metadata page on the Excel. The title, you can see here your name, information, etc. In this case, the application what does is to check if every mandatory field is filled, and also it checks if the structure of the dataset is correct, and also if because there are some drop-down menus on the wildlife data model, as you know, it checks if you have selected one of the possible options from the drop-down menus. This is done for the metadata and for the data page. Once you have the metadata validated, you can go to validate the data. And in this case, also is everything correct. You have a resume of the information that has been filled. In this case, all the location IDs from the dataset have a corresponding shape in the shapefile that you have uploaded. And then you can download the outputs. Yes, okay. Okay. Okay, this is the output that you download, and this is probably the data set and the data file that we are going to require in the future from the data partners, because we have everything validated and harmonized. As you can see, we have a resume with all the pop-ups that have appeared on the validation process. Also, we have a metadata CSV with new information that the app has added. We have the data set that you have uploaded, but with the spatial information joined. And also we have the raw files, the dataset in Excel format and the spatial file that you have uploaded. So we can track everything that you have done to submit the dataset. And now, for example, to give you another example, if we upload the file dataset, it will crash at some point. It's the same shapefile, it's everything the same. So you click on submit, submission report, it's okay. Then you validate metadata, it's also okay. But once you try to validate the data, it will pop up with an error. It said that some values in column type are not allowed. Allowed values are occurrence, abundance, and hunting. So you can go to the you can go to the file that you have submitted, which is this one. Okay. And as the app said, you have an error on the column type because there are only 3 possibilities, and you have filled using an error value. So it will give you a pop-up with that information. And that's basically what this validation tool do. I think it really can help us to increase the number of data we work with, and also it will give us the possibility to validate everything in an easier way and in a faster way.